according to the rumor mill, Nika, and it is all-star outfielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Oh, the guy with the troll hair.
Yes, Mr. Trollhair himself.
He's got awesome troll
Could
hair.
he be joining the Brown and Gold, Nika, in San Diego? Of course, who needs a left fielder? Now, I don't know if I would say this has a higher or lower likelihood of happening because of that. My instinct would say lower, but at the same time, it's all about what you get in return. The headline, this was Aaron Coloma. This was in Sports Illustrated this morning. Padres linked to $42 million all-star outfielder from NL West rival in trade idea. So I don't know if this is a real rumor or an idea, but I think people are just starting to look at which teams are starting to fall out of it, which contracts are expiring on those teams, and where they might fit onto other teams that have needs in those areas. And it's hard not to look at Lourdes Gurriel Jr. as being a clear fit in San Diego. I think he would vibe with the guys, to be honest.
I think so.
So I like this move. I like this trade. I still like the Orioles super trade from a few weeks ago. But I don't know if I like Mullins over Gurriel. I think Gurriel would get a boost playing on a contender again, obviously. And, you know, we already saw him and Ohtani have the mocking home run celebration against each other. So it would add a little bit of spice, I think, to the brown and gold versus the blue.
It might bring some competitive energy to the team.
It says Yahoo Sports' Jake Mintz linked the San Diego Padres to Arizona Diamondbacks left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The Padres are in the market for a left fielder as starter Jason Hayward is currently serving his second trip on the injured list this season. So the Padres have been forced to stick designated hitter Gavin Sheets in the role. That's not really true anymore. It has been Brandon Lockridge. Sheets is back DHing. But nevertheless, the need of a hitter in that slot is still needed. Even with Hayward healthy, though, Padres left fielders have not performed. The Padres have the third lowest WRC plus and the lowest on-base percentage among left fielders in MLB this season. Ouch.
They do.
It's not been good. Pretty. We've seen it happen in real time. And, oh, by the way, the catcher's spot is not that much better.
They do need a catcher.
They absolutely do. This is what Mintz wrote in his column. And the reason why I didn't put Jake Mintz's column in here, by the way, is because he wrote a big, long Bible about every team and their needs. So I felt like Aaron Coloma's embellishment on the speculation was a little bit more fruitful for us to talk about. It says, quote, the San Diego Stars and Scrubs fantasy team rolls on, wrote Mintz. Padres outfielders have a combined 536 OPS, the second lowest mark in baseball. An upgrade there feels necessary. How general manager A.J. Preller goes about improving his roster despite a farm system that's been left relatively barren by years of win-now moves will be fascinating. San Diego's top two prospects, catcher Ethan Salas and shortstop Leonidas DeVries, are legit, but it's very light behind that duo. We'll talk about that in a minute. He's about to mention another guy. I would mention Cash Mayfield. 4 of the Padres' top 5 prospects are teenagers, the exception being left-handed Cash Mayfield, who is 20. The Padres, if they want to make a move for someone as high profile as Gurriel, may need to part with more than they'd like.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true either. The Diamondbacks don't have a need at catcher. They have Gabriel Moreno, and they also have another young catcher whose name is escaping me at the moment. They also have, as I said, a loaded infield that they've invested in with Perdomo and Marte, and they also have Jordan Lawler and Tim Tawa. So they don't necessarily have a need for Leonidas DeVries, although who can predict the future? He's 17, 18 years old. Gurriel is in his 3rd season with the Diamondbacks and is on pace to have another above-average season. The left fielder has 9 home runs and 35 runs batted in through 57 games while posting an OPS of 744. Gurriel made his first All-Star game in 2023 when he set a new career high in home runs with 24. Throughout his 8-year career, he has never finished a season with an OPS plus below 100. So a pretty consistent body of work here. After this season, Gurriel has a player option and a club option the season after. So if the Padres pull the trigger on the 31-year-old, they would be able to keep him for up to 2 extra years, keeping themselves stable in left field. This latter part really caught my interest because this seems like a Padres move, doesn't it? This is like kind of their MO when you talk about trading for Dylan Cease and trading for Luis Arraez. What do they have in common? Well, they had extra time available after the trade was made, and they were like a part of not just last year's team, but future teams. Michael King, you could make that argument. Even though they had to do a deal with him in the offseason to make it work, they still made that deal and made it work. So Gurriel kind of fits into that mold, and it's like yeah, you're taking on the money, but at least you're taking on pre-Soto money. I always like to say that because Soto raised the rates for everybody. And I think anytime you can get a player that's a veteran, like he's kind of Profar replacement, right?
Yeah, you could
he's
make
very
that
similar
argument.
to him without now the baggage of Profar and the cost.
You can make that argument. He's really good offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and like I said, I think you
I
would
just
get
don't-
on with the team.
He would get on. I don't buy this that they have to sell the whole farm just to get him.
I don't either.
I don't buy that.
I look at the Diamondbacks' needs, and they don't need those hot Padres prospects. So if that means that they can't do business with the Diamondbacks, so be it. But Cash Mayfield is not a nobody. He's a lefty. The Diamondbacks are going to need pitching.
Well, if they trade Zach Gallen, of course they will need pitching to replace him.
Well, I'm just saying eventually. They're going to need pitching next year to replace Corbin Burns.
Every team's going to need pitching.
Every team's always going to
So-
need pitching. So there's a lot to gain, I think, even without Ethan Salas or Leodalis DeVries for the Diamondbacks in this situation. That's just my opinion. But yeah, are you buying or selling Lourdes Gurriel Jr. becoming a San Diego Padre, Nika?
I wouldn't mind the trade. I don't know if it's legit, if it will happen, but they always look for players that have some existing contract left and they
Yeah.
can capitalize on that. Luis Ariz, the same.
I think the Padres really need to keep a close eye on this situation with the Diamondbacks over the next week.
Yeah.
If they fall even further back, even if the Dodgers and Padres split, you know, or I know they can't split 3 games, but but you know, if neither one significantly moves, but if they fall back even further under 500 than they are now, 3 games, while the Dodgers and Padres, you know, are going up, the Giants are going up, it's going to get tougher and tougher to buy in. And then the longer they go to make a move, AJ would probably want to make this move sooner than later. Yes or no?
Yes.
Like Luis Ariz last year.
Maybe.
That was in May. We're obviously into June now, but
Well, I would say one thing about Preller. He has been probably looking for replacement for the left field already. He knows it's a gaping hole that needs to be filled in.
we already saw that the Padres were rumored to Jarren Duran. We saw the Padres rumored
yeah.
to the Orioles when it
That's
came
another
to
good thing.
Adley Rutschman and Cedric Mullins, and now they're being rumored to Gurriel Jr.
I like Jared Duran a lot better because he is faster.
Even though Gurriel crushes the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of this depends for me also on who becomes the possible catcher, you know, because I
Yeah.
don't think we can roll with Maldonado
No.
or with Elias Diaz, and obviously Campusano is a liability back there. If he ever started hitting in the majors, he still couldn't catch. That's going to be a situation that needs to be resolved as well.
The Padres need the catching. They need
Padres
a catcher.
need catching, and they need a left fielder, and you know,
Come up with a package deal for that.
yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get Moreno away from the Diamondbacks